everybody. For this video today, we're going to be working on a tripod transition. I was trying to shoot this outside, but it's a little bit too noisy right now, and I don't have a mic yet. So when I do this, I either have to project really loudly, or I have to do it in a confined space where you can't have any outside noise or anything like that. So for this, you're just going to need a 2x4, and some people might not even start here, so you might even just do this off the ground, which I'll show you also. But when you are ready for the 2x4, these are $250 at Lowe's or Home Depot, so it's not horribly expensive, okay? So let's actually go ahead and do this off the ground first, and then we'll move over to this. So when you're on the ground, essentially what we're going to use part of this for is we use it in the getting up off the ground in a more structured manner. So for this, I would actually lean my hand down here, and I'm just kneeling on the ground. And as I do, I'm going to put support on this foot over here and then this arm. I'm going to pick up, my leg goes out, and then it can actually sweep in. I can go here, and then I can hinge and then stand up, right? So just being able to go from here and pull in to this position might be where some people are at. Or just lifting their body up and holding this position. Now when we do this, and we're up on the balance beam, we'll actually have our arm back as our counterbalance, right, in this position, so you can work on that also. Doing it in this way is basically, like I said, a more structured version of how to get up off the ground, right? So some people, you see them, and it's really rounded, and it just looks wonky when they do it, and they're putting themselves at risk for an injury when they do that, especially if they're doing it repetitively. Now, what this is for is not only the get up off the ground, but you'll slowly transition this, and like I said, we're going to go up on the 2x4, but ideally what you see this in is getting up and down off an object, like a wall or maybe a big rock, and then that slowly progresses into how we vault, right? So now we're not just going up to something and getting on top of it or coming down from it, we're actually running at an object and we need to get over it very quick because maybe something's chasing us or something like that, right? So this slowly progresses into that, but this is a good practice leading up to that, right? And we can use it in other ways, like getting up off the ground, right? Now, being able to pull through, so if I'm just going to do this on the ground, we have the lean back here, but the second component of this is actually I pull my leg through, and then I reach out like that, right? My 2 points of support right here, and I'm actually going and I'm trying to stay in this lane right here, right? So my arm isn't veering off this way and my leg isn't going back over here like this. I'm wanting to keep those in alignment. And then I can pull back through and then I'm here, okay? So you can practice that on the ground like that. You will have one dominant side, right? So you're gonna have one side that's easier than the other side. As far as treating this as more of like a structured exercise type practice, I usually say you're doing somewhere between 3 and 5 to start per side, or maybe you're alternating, and then slowly progressing into maybe doing 5 to 10, which is pretty strenuous when you're doing that pull through. There's a lot of stability that is required and strength to hold that position. So let's go ahead and move over to this balance beam now. Like I said, just a simple 2x4. Once I'm here, I can stand and then I'll come down into this squatted position here. Now once I'm here, I'm going to place my hand to one side. I'll just go down a little bit. Here, right? So I'm on the board, so I'm not trying to splay my fingers. Here. And then inside leg, right? So whatever the inside leg is, or the leg that's in the middle, the limb that's in the middle here, it's going to pick up. It goes out. That arm comes back as that counterbalance. And then I'm going to pull this through and then stretch out this way, okay? And then I pull in, I can place, and then here. This is very strenuous. You're gonna have an increase in your heart rate. My legs, your quads are doing a lot of work. They're gonna get blown out. That's what I like about this movement too, is it's a different way to challenge and kind of build strength with the legs than just doing squats and lunges and these kind of positions that you usually do just at a standard gym, right? So I can do that where I literally, and doing this slow and controlled. Pull through, pull back through, right? So not stopping. And I can do this for my 3 to 5. I'm going to stop at 2 right there, like this leg right here. So the leg that's actually propped up is the one that's going to get tired. And then you can switch sides, and I can go to this side, right? And usually what I tell people, and this is one of my favorite things we say in MoveNat, is that speed hides inefficiencies. If you're struggling with this initially, especially if you're trying to progress and maybe come here when you're not ready for this, one of the things that you'll notice is that you're going to try and speed through it initially. If you can't do this movement slow, okay, I don't want you to try and speed it up. Slow it down. Find out what's causing some of those issues where you're struggling with the movement. And then you can kind of scale back and maybe start with just doing this on the ground and progress from there. Now, if you're having an issue even just doing it on the ground, right? Or I'm here, maybe you don't have enough mobility to pick up and pull through yet. Or maybe weight is an issue, or maybe you have some type of injury that's causing a setback with that. Figure out what not only that limitation is, but what can you do to address it, and how can you scale this a little bit to help with that and give yourself that progression. If it's a mobility issue, whether that's with your ankles or your hip, work on that through soft tissue work and stretching, right? If it's maybe my calves are too tight to do that, or my hips are too tight to actually create the pull through, address that first. And this doesn't have to be perfect. If I have to literally come here, right, and then pick up and then kind of do this in sections, that's okay also. But just keep in mind you have that end goal of being able to do this without that, right? Kind of hold yourself accountable to taking those progressions and actually moving forward with them. Usually what I see is somebody comes in and they're stuck on the same level for months and months and months and months, either because they're not doing the work that they need to do to correct what's going on with it, or because they're scared and they don't want to hurt themselves, so they just don't even try and venture forward with it, right? So hold yourself accountable to those progressions. And if you have anything, any questions, any comments, anything that you're like, hey, I'm stuck here, can you help me? Let me know. I'll make a video on that and I'll send that out and I'll put that out there so it might help somebody with that as well. So thank you guys for watching. I want to hear any questions, any comments that you have. Like I said, this is the MoveNat system. If you don't know what that is, look into it. Erwan LaCour, the guy that created this, is a phenomenal mover. All the guys that are in this, it's a very great community to be a part of, but all the top level guys are phenomenal movers, and they have a lot of knowledge that they can share also. So look for workshops or certifications that come by that are close to you, and you can use these videos hopefully as kind of an introduction into going and doing a workshop or doing a certification as well. So like I said, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. If there's anything that you want to see, if you're struggling with this and there's some way that I can help also by creating another video, let me know as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned. We're going to have more of not only the MoveNat videos, but some of the medical exercise videos and the restorative exercise videos as well.